it says, hello, wait, we're telling your followers that you've started a live video. I know, it always tells you to take a minute. So I guess we will take a minute now and maybe just 1 or 2 minutes as well. Yeah, people are finally starting to sign on, so I know that we're getting the notifications. So while we're waiting, just like these 2 minutes, you might want to get something to write with in case you want to take notes in typical Virgo fashion. This is a Virgo moon. You might also want to have something to drink. I've got some nice green tea today, little ginger lemon green tea that seems to be my go-to in this lunar cycle. And teas are really good right now to drink during this full moon for detox and for gut health and digestive support and respiratory support and throat support and all the things. So get your favorite beverage, have something to write with maybe, just get yourself cozy. We are here to be very casual tonight and come together to talk about the full moon in Virgo. I am curious as we start to have everyone sign on to the transmission. So I don't have a lot of Virgo in my chart, but my Venus is in Virgo and my husband is a Virgo. So we vibe in that way, and his Venus is in Libra and I'm a Libra. So that's how we mishmash. But also my husband is a kind of right on the cusp at the end of the Virgo season. So I think he has more of those Libra tendencies anyway. But hi, Lisa. How's it going? Lisa says she's drinking her tea as well. Yeah, it must be the time. And she is a Virgo. So yeah, it must be a Virgo vibe to be drinking the teas. And in spirit of that, Lisa, maybe in the 13 Moons membership, like we were talking about, I know this is like way down the road, but maybe during Virgo season or new moon in Virgo, we can do some tea blending or talk about some tea blending, and maybe you can utilize some of your expertise in that, have you come on in that 13 Moons membership for that. I've been thinking about that a lot. So like to know more about the teas. And also Ashlyn at Time and Spice, if you're local, she's really knowledgeable on the teas as well. She does all of the tea blending. I go get their shaken teas all the time. I've had a couple of those shaken teas this week. So yes, it is a tea drinking week for sure. And for me, it's because of the shift in the weather. It's been warm and then it got cold last night and today, and it's going to warm up again in a few days and get cold again, and it's messing with my sinuses. And I think 2 weeks ago my sinuses were pretty gnarly on the transmission, and they're okay now, but I've been drinking a lot of teas to help with that. So okay, it looks like we are officially going to get started here. It's been a few minutes. Everybody should have gotten the notification that we are live. It is Saturday, February 24th, 2024. We are underneath the light of a Virgo full moon. Also, this February full moon is known as the snow moon, or the Virgo moon is known as the priestess moon, or maybe because we're in this year of the dragon, this is the dragon priestess moon. And we are going to talk all about it tonight in this virtual full moon circle. But before we get started, I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Vina Lene Rachel. I am a moon priestess, an intuitive, a medium, a channeler of the divine. I am a yoga teacher, an astrologer, a tarot reader, and many, many other mystic things, including now, since you last talked to me with the new moon in Aquarius. What a magical season it has been. But since you last saw me, I am now an international mystic teacher as well. I am a mentor and mystical teacher in an international mystical school, spiritual school, yoga school, spiritual business school, spiritual coaching school, all of the things that I love to do. My dream has come true, and I was offered a job about 10 days ago, and have accepted and have already been diving in and teaching. So I guess you can add that to my category of labels now too. Magic manifester of making my dreams come true. Let's add that to the list, because I'm still in awe. I'm still processing this amazing magical job that I am now doing, in addition to already working for myself and owning my own business and having this super magical job. And hello, Heather. And speaking of Heather, she said, you had all this happen because you cut your hair off. And I said, I think I did, because I cut off the final bit of my artificial color. And there's nothing against that. I love coloring my hair. I'll probably do some wacky colors in the future, but I'm really moving into this state of authenticity. Kind of talked about that with the full moon in Leo. I like to show up makeupless. I like to show up in my natural state. I kind of don't care if I'm all dressed up or adorned or not. This is me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. I might have this little alter ego, altered spiritual side. If you take yoga and meditation from me, that it's a little bit of a channeling that I step through. I don't think it's really another side. It's just my inner channeling side that comes through. But with that, as soon as I cut this hair off, like the next day I got this job offer, which is insane. And our hair carries a lot of energy and a lot of history. And I really decided with the beginning of this lunar cycle, with the new moon in Aquarius, with Lunar New Year, I decided that it was really time to conceive this next version of myself and start bringing her through, because I turned 40 in October with the eclipse, and I knew something big was coming this year, and I've just been clearing space for it, making space for it as much as I can, and even energetically cutting my hair to clear and make space for it. So yes, we are in a full moon, but we are in the last full moon of the zodiac wheel. We are in the last full moon of winter, and with that there is this portal that we're in now in these next 2 weeks of endings and beginnings. And so with that, we are going to talk about what all of it means tonight in this virtual moon circle. And by the way, I've been leading these for probably 7 years, 8 years. I don't know. I was trying to calculate it. I should probably go back and try to figure it out, but I didn't always record them, so I can't remember quite when I did them. And I used to have them on Facebook, and I no longer have a Facebook page. Speaking of clearing space, I know we're here on Instagram. I know it's on my Meta. I know it's the same. However, we all know that Insta is a little bit different than Facebook. A little bit, a lot. It's a lot different. And I had to get out of there. So I cut ties with Facebook, and I don't have history of the videos from there, but I have been hosting these moon circles for quite some time for free, because I was once that person that was seeking. I was once cosmically curious. I still am, but I was once a star student and instead of a teacher, and I just want to be able to provide that same information, knowledge, insight, guidance that I received at one point in time when I was first trying to learn about the moon and the stars and the zodiac and everything else. By the way, Madeline, I just talked about cutting my hair, and I think I want to go shorter. Yeah, I like it, but you know how we talked about going a little shorter. Speaking of, the girl who cut my hair, we were just talking about me cutting my hair right before you signed on, so I'll get at you. I'm going to clear my throat for just a minute. So I've been hosting these moon circles for, she says, let's do it. I've been hosting these moon circles for quite some time. I want to try to continue to host these for free. I will say that my life has gotten incredibly busy in the past 10 days in a good, magical way. But as long as I can, I'm going to keep showing up to you here, and also in the 13 Moons membership. So if you don't know about my astrology membership, I have a membership where you can go in and you can learn about the moon, all of the zodiac signs, the celestial shifts, the planets, the seasons, different rituals, magical practices, etc., etc., astrology-based yoga and breath work and meditation as well. It's all growing there, that membership, so that's another place that you can reach me, but you can always reach me here in these moon circles. And I'm working, it was my goal to get it done by this moon, but then this magical job happened, and I've been incredibly busy working since then, but it is my goal to eventually mute these out to more than one place. Hopefully I can get it where I can set up to transcribe through Instagram and through YouTube and Facebook and all the places. We'll eventually get there with the tech, but for now our home is Instagram. So welcome if you are here, but also I do have the replays of all of my circles on other other realms of the internet. So my website, vinalene.com, which is soon to be mothermoonsister.com. But for now, vinalene.com, you can go there and you can find the replay of my moon circles underneath the moon musings section. You can also go to my Mother Moon Yoga YouTube channel and all of my replays are there. Or you can listen to the replays on my podcast. It's the Follow Your Path podcast. If you look up Follow Your Path, you might find several podcasts with that name, but if you look up Vina Lene, you will find me right away. So feel free to go wherever you would like to view the replay. Maybe you are doing that right now, listening to the replay, but if you are here live, welcome. I don't see anybody brand new here, but if you are brand new, put that in the transmission. I know that one of you is a Virgo. I know another one of you has a little bit of Virgo in your chart. I'm curious if anybody on the live, aside from Lisa, has a Virgo sun, moon, rising, anything else going on there. I mentioned I have a Venus in Virgo, and that's about it. My other Earth comes from Capricorn in my chart, but I'm just curious if there's any Virgos here. I wouldn't expect there to be a lot of Virgos here. No offense to the Virgos, to the cosmic virgin, cosmic purist, but they are an earth sign. And earth signs are a little bit more skeptical, a little bit more practical, a little bit more not into the woo, and they have to have a lot of proof or a lot of personal experience to be connected to that. So if you do have Virgo energy and you're here, it's probably because you've had a personal experience. Yeah, Maddie says she has no Virgo for her, and I know that Heather's a mix of Scorpio and Libra as far as I know. So yeah, not a lot of Virgo going on today, but that's okay. We still want to talk about this energy regardless, because it is this last moon of winter, this last full moon of winter. And it's also a micro moon, which that's interesting how we don't have a lot of Virgo energy on the transmission, because we're in a Virgo full micro moon. What does that mean? It means that the moon is as far away from the earth as it can be. And today it's a little bit closer, but if you noticed last night, actually me and Heather were together last night doing sound healing at my studio, and we came out after the sound healing about 8 o'clock at night, and the moon was out and shining, but it was this cute little moon just up in the sky. It was a little bitty, and you could really tell that it was a micro moon. And you might also notice it just from the sensation of the energy. The prana isn't as heightened as normal, and we're not feeling it in the same amount of time as we normally do with a full moon. So if you're a beginner to learning about astrology, learning about the moon, learning about astronomy, the moon, when it's in its full phase, is on the opposite side of the sun, and the earth is in the middle. So the moon is reflecting that solar light onto the earth, and that's why we can see it. But we also just start to feel that energy, and we're pulled up more to the moon because all of that solar energy that amplifies and charges us and affects all of our rhythms and cycles, it's going to the moon, and then the moon is giving it back to us. So we're turning to the moon because that's where we're seeing the most solar light right now, and that tends to amplify and charge us up as well. Now, a typical full moon, we feel those energies anywhere from around 48 hours before or after the peak of the moon. When we're in a super moon, we might feel it up to 5 days before or after, same with an eclipse. But with a micro moon, it's really only about 12 to 24 hours before and after the peak that we feel it. That's not to say that you won't feel it longer if you're extra sensitive, especially if you're ruled by the moon. My husband and my son, they are Cancer moons, and then my husband is a Virgo sun and a Cancer moon. So you can imagine right now he's vibing with the moon just a little bit, but like kind of in a good way. He's just like wanting to go get snacks and go shopping a little bit. We actually went shopping, and he actually cleaned his bathroom like 20 minutes ago. Out of the blue. And I've been talking about how Virgo energy is a good energy for cleaning. So yeah, we might be feeling the energy of this moon. It peaked today at 6:30 in the morning Central Time, but we're probably not going to feel it much longer after this. It won't be around much longer, and we can just keep moving forward, finish out this last zodiac season on the zodiac wheel, this last season of winter, and we will be ready for the amplified sun coming into Aries season on March 19th, and the season of spring and vernal equinox and all of that extra energy that's coming our way. So get ready for it. Regardless of not feeling that energy for very long, we are still utilizing it for as little time as we have it, as we can feel it, and we will use it to clear space, to get ready, to maybe make some lists or make some plans or get a little organized, do a check-in, clear the body, clear the mind, detox. Maybe we're using time to get scheduled. Maybe we are cleaning. Maybe we're getting more organized. I don't know if I said that. Maybe we're getting our tech in order. Maybe we're getting our hormones and our energy balanced. There's a lot of different ways that you can align with this full moon, and we'll talk about a little bit more after I get a drink of tea. So fun fact, the energy of Virgo, the sign of Virgo, is ruled by Mercury. It's an earth sign, but it's ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules the throat chakra. And I've had a little bit of a sore throat just for like a day and a half. Totally not sick, totally good, no fever, no nothing going on, but just kind of like a dry sore throat. And I have been doing a lot of talking. I've been doing a lot more talking with this new teaching job that I took on. And just talking in general, and so I'm just feeling it in my throat, but you might be feeling it too, or you might be feeling your sinuses with all of these weather changes back and forth that can happen this time of year. Remember that we are in Pisces season. Pisces is opposite Virgo. Remember, the moon is opposing the sun right now, so it's going to be whatever opposite the moon sign is in. So the sun's in Pisces right now, and Pisces is represented by that two fish swimming up and down in a circle, and that represents the tug of weather and nature right now as we are on the end of winter and the beginning of spring, and we're already seeing that. And it's hot, cold, wet, dry, snow, and then warm again, and we're probably going to feel that a little bit longer as we start to mellow out and move into actual season of spring and Aries coming up in 2 weeks. So I want to get a little bit ritualistic tonight before we go any further. As usual, we're going to bring in the 5 elements. We're going to invite in the guides and guardians of the 5 directions. We did do that with our new moon in Aquarius, and we left that open for any guides and guardians that needed to continue to be with us, but we'll invite in any more now if they need to be here. But first, I just want to light a candle. I want to take a moment to bring actually this candle, it's still going to burn. Like I said, I want to bring in a little bit of ritual because this is the Virgo full moon, and this is a moon of priestesshood or priesthood. It's a little bit more holy and pure. It's the sign of the cosmic virgin, and we'll talk about what that means. It can definitely mean in an abstinence, like sexual way, but it wasn't the original definition of the word. It actually meant something else, related to more of a holy energy. And so in the sense of that, and because it's a full moon, it's the last full moon of winter, this darkest season of the year, I want to light this heart-shaped candle. And I've lit this a few times before in ceremony because it means a lot to me. This candle was given to me when my Nana passed away. And my Nana was a Virgo. And for a long time, by the way, my Nana passed away when I was 20 years old, something like that. Very young. And I'm 40 now, so it's been almost 2 decades. But probably just last year or the year before, I felt the need to start lighting this candle every once in a while. Again, this was given to me when my grandma passed away, my mother's mother, 2 decades ago. But when I'm feeling like I'm in a real sacred space, or a real sacred energy, or I just really want to uplift the energy, I light this candle. And so I'm lighting this candle for our Virgo Full Moon Circle now to bring in an extra essence of purity and spirit. And I'm just going to set that I'm actually going to set it back here and let it burn on my little altar, and you can see it back there. And that'll carry our energy tonight. I'm going to let you continue to see that burn there. I always like to start our transmissions first with breath, another part of ritual. And if you want to get very simple with ritual and not get woo-woo and not get religious or, anything deeper about it, start getting more ritualistic with your breath. I taught in our international yoga school today, and we taught on pranayama, breath work, and the sacredness of the breath, and how it's so much more than just this inhale and exhale and this movement of air and our lungs pumping. It's life force energy that we're controlling and lengthening and allowing to circulate through us. And so when we take a moment to slow down and simply take 3 deep sacred breaths, everything can shift. Everything can change. So let's do that now. Let's find our posture wherever you are. Can you find a tall spine? Can you find a hollow channel? And when you're ready, can you take a deep breath in through your nose? Open mouth, exhale. Maybe shake it out, loosen up, ground in. Get a little bit more grounded because we have heightened prana. We're pulled to the full moon. And we want to balance that out with grounding energy, apana energy at the bottom of the exhale and breath. Root chakra. So sink into your root chakra now, and when you're ready, if you can, deep breath in again. Really collapse the nostrils. Maybe sip in a little bit more. Open mouth, exhale, maybe with sound. Again, shake it up, loosen up, let go. Ground more into the present. And one more time, if you can, maybe reach the arms overhead. Deep breath in. Sit more in. Maybe retain it or sit more in. And let go. Fully grounded into this virtual full moon circle, honoring Virgo energy, the priestess moon, the snow moon, the dragon priestess moon, and a Magha Nakshatra on the eastern side, Vedic side of the world. Let's go deeper by bringing in the 5 elements. By the way, take 3 sacred breaths before you do anything. Before you get out of bed in the morning, take 3 sacred breaths. Before you walk out of the door of your house, take 3 sacred breaths. Before you start your car, take 3 separate sacred breaths. Before you start your job, before you make that phone call, before you make dinner, make it sacred. Buddha says whatever you can do in the present is sacred. Can you be mindful while washing the dishes? Can you make the dishes spiritual and sacred? Can this drinking of tea, lighting of a candle, taking 3 deep breaths be spiritual and sacred? I promise you, if you do that, and I will admit I'm not great at it always. Sometimes I'm in it, sometimes I'm not. This right here, this full moon, this is my dedication to get back into that practice, if not anything else. Actually, I've been in a few practices, gratitude practice every day, and then I manifested this wonderful job. I've been working at my altar, I've been working with crystals, I've been doing a few things, but the sacredness of the breath, if you can just take 3 sacred breaths before you do everything, make everything very sacred, you'll shift the energy, you'll shift your frequency. And this is my little putting it out there in the universe, expressing it out loud with my throat chakra, so I'm integrous, that I get back into this at all times as well. 3 breaths. It takes, not even a minute, maybe, depending how deep your breath is. We all have that 1 to 2 minutes to spare for 3 deep breaths. And if we don't have 1 to 2 minutes to spare for 3 deep breaths, we're in trouble. It's another thing we talked about today in the yoga school. We're in trouble in the West, especially, because most of us are not breathing. We are only breathing into the top 1/4 of our lungs, which is above our diaphragm. and it's also above all of our organs, our biggest muscle groups, our legs, our pelvic organs, our spaces of creativity and fertility, our spaces of emotional processing, and even untying the knots of the emotions so we can digest them to begin with, our spaces of digestion, our spaces of empowerment and strength and courage and confidence. Even the heart space can be kind of in between that, first half of the lung space. So we're not even breathing fully into our heart because we're not taking those deep belly, lower 3/4 of the lungs breaths. I know I said I'd start with the elements, and we're going to get back to air, but let's focus on air right now because this moon is in Magha Nakshatra and in Vedic astrology, and that is the heart of the Leo lion. We'll talk about why it's Leo instead of Virgo, but heart energy, heart chakra, fourth energy center, anahata, that's our airspace, that's our breath. Our heart and our lungs are both part of our heart chakra. They're both part of our circulatory system. We need oxygen in our blood. So focus on the breath. It's so sacred to the essence of your life. And your heart space, your heart center, that balances all of your other energy centers. And I'm not just talking about those 7 main ones on the Sushumna on your spine. I'm talking about all of your energy meridians, all of the thousands of chakras and energy highways throughout your body. You can control that. You can purify that. You can unblock that with the power of the breath. You can tell that Mercury's in Aquarius, can't you? Virgo throat chakra, Mercury ruling right now. Virgo energy says get in alignment with the throat. So let's go back to Earth. Let's start with Earth energy. I do like to talk about crystals to work with underneath the full moon. I want to start with some crystals tonight to work with this Virgo energy. First off, Virgo just likes to keep it simple. They really do. They really like the steps to things and to learn how to do things. They like to get very familiar with the simplest of things and kind of build upon that one step at a time. Very different from that Capricorn energy that we were in not too long ago with the new moon in Capricorn, with Capricorn season. And that's more about hard work, climb, like be stubborn, get to the top. Don't worry about just learn it once and go. Virgo energy is a little different. They really want to know things. They really want to understand things. And part of that's that Mercury ruling the throat chakra as well. It wants to get in this deeper inner self. So crystal quartz is one of the most basic crystals that you can work with, and it's super easy to find, and it's relatively affordable, and it is a master crystal. So get yourself some crystal quartz. I don't have just plain, I lie, I do have plain crystal quartz, unless my kiddo took it, which he did. My kiddo's been sneaking in here and messing with some of my crystals, but that's okay. I don't have plain crystal quartz, but it's a super easy one to find, and it's a crystal that's great for absorbing negative energy. It's a crystal that helps to uplift your energy. It helps to balance things. You really can't go wrong with it. It doesn't even need a lot of explanation. It looks pretty. It's sparkly. It's your most basic B crystal, and it's powerful. So go get yourself some crystal quartz. I do have a different type of quartz that I wanted to bring in tonight. I got this beauty just the other day in the spirit of, I've been wanting some, and also in the spirit of manifesting what I want and then it showing up. Angel Aura quartz. Isn't that beautiful? I know it's reflecting the screen, but look at that. And I got this one with this X in it in particular because I really felt like it had Archangel Michael's spirit in it. Do y'all feel that? Protective energy. And there's a reason I'm bringing this in tonight. You can see my phone. But still, look at that. I'll bring it back. Look at that. Ooh. This halo. Look at that energy. I just want to spin that. Okay, let's go to the other side. Let's see what magic it has because both sides serve. Yeah, you can see it. And I'm not reflecting now. So Angel Aura quartz is great for uplifting your frequency and for protecting your energy and for helping to cleanse your aura and make it more rainbow and prismatic and vibrational, which means you're balancing your chakras. This stone embodies both all of the colors and none of the colors, which is our crown chakra, which is a lunar chakra, but also it's our higher cosmic consciousness. And it's that purity, that essence of Virgo energy. Virgo's very holy, very pure. And again, very simplistic to look at from the beginning, just looks kind of like a clear rock. But when you get back and you get it into the light, you can really feel the energy there. So because we're in this holy energy, angel aura quartz is good to work with. Because we're working on purifying our own essence and energy, angel aura quartz is good to work with. Because Virgo energy is about getting into ritual and spiritual practice and tending to ourselves in a way that we need to make sure that we show up to ourselves in alignment, angel aura quartz. And maybe this one in particular if you need Archangel Michael to protect you right now. Also, the moon in Vedic astrology is in Magha Nakshatra. I've mentioned this several times already. And this moon is ruled by the Pitris. Look at that energy over there. You think that's the energy of the angels? Maybe we'll put it over here. Maybe it's my Nana. Notice how it stopped when I went over there. And there's no air moving or anything right now, by the way. I've got a little crack in the window way over there, but now it's moving again. I have chills. That means there's something here. Okay. So, yeah, the energy is good because, and I know it's my ancestors as I say this, as it vibrates, because we are being protected by the Pitris tonight. The Pitris, they are these ancestral spirits that rule Magha Nakshatra, and they rule over Earth. So it's not just our ancestors, but it's all of our ancestors. And when we get down to it, all of our ancestors are all of our ancestors. We're all related. We all come from this one source at some point, no matter what you believe, right? Source energy. And we're all related. We're all related. Man came, and somehow this seed spread. We don't know how, but we all at some point have like kind of the same genetic genome, right? Just a little bit different with the puzzle pieces. So we're all related. We're all mutts. And I think we've learned that with the genetic stuff. I know Lisa is really big on genealogy. But, you know, if we go back far enough, we're going to realize that we're all mutts. We're all mixed. We're all related. So these Pitris that are watching over Earth right now, they're with us right now with this full moon. And they're protecting us. So work with your angel aura quartz and call on it. And I also have another beautiful angel aura quartz I brought into other transmissions. It's at the studio right now, but it doesn't look like that. It's actually a cluster that's more of the crystal quartz, and it's very prismatic and beautiful. It almost looks like a white pyrite is the best way I can describe it. It's really rainbow, almost like a white pyrite and a I can't think of the name of it right now. Bismuth. Kind of looks like those together, those metallic sheens. It's really cool. Okay, let's move on to another basic bee crystal that most people can find, pretty affordable, amethyst. We want to use amethyst right now because we are still in Pisces season, and Virgo is opposite of Pisces. And Virgo, I mentioned, is a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit more practical. They're a little bit skeptical sometimes, but they are seeking. They're always trying to learn and understand. And if we're trying to learn and understand these ways of the mystical and the woo, we have to open up our third eye, that sixth energy center. And if we're going to do that, amethyst is a really easy way to do so. So I'm going to bring that amethyst up to you. You can see it's got this purple tint to it. You could always maybe lie down on your back and meditate with that right on your third eye. Like this one is a good one to just put right on the third eye. You could also sleep with it underneath your pillow. Remember that, you know, our chakras aren't just through the front of our body, they're through the back side. And also the back side of your body is a more receiving side than the front side. But maybe you need to open up your third eye and give some things to this amethyst. So you might want to put it on the front, but it doesn't matter. You know, don't get too caught up in the details wherever you want to work with this crystal. You could also hold it while you're meditating. You know, keep it on you in in some way. Keep it on your altar to help open up your inner knowing as you come back to these spiritual practices. Put it on your yoga mat as you're moving through your, drop it in your tea, apparently. I don't know if you heard that. I just dropped it in my tea because apparently I need to drink my wisdom tonight. So put it in your water. And actually, amethyst is safe to put in your water. So you're fine. I'm going to clear my throat. In the spirit of this tea. I guess I did need it. All right, I'll get a drink of it. Gotta love that. We got some energy going on in this reception tonight, don't we? So another one of the crystals that I wanted to bring in tonight is different. This is green amethyst. Isn't that beautiful? How that just naturally made that beautiful little point. I'm going to turn it over. It's a little bit different on the other side. Just got some swirls. Another name for green amethyst is chevron perseolite. And chevron perseolite, or green amethyst, is responsible for balancing your chakras. Also really good for health and the throat chakra. Emotional balance, hormonal balance, all comes into the throat chakra around the thymus area. And then thymus is connected to the heart space. And that's where we get that energetic balance as well. So again, maybe you meditate with this on your heart. Maybe you keep that if you wear like a sports bra or a top, you put it in your top. If you don't wear a top, you could band-aid it to your chest if you want to go so far as to do that. You can sleep with it under your pillow. It doesn't have to be near your heart. Remember, your circulation runs throughout. No big deal. Keep it on you. Keep it on your altar. All of those spaces as well. But if you're looking to balance and find more harmony beyond just opening your third eye, work with maybe this green amethyst, or maybe work with the two of them together. And that could be another beautiful way to really harmonize your both spiritual chakras and your earthly chakras. By the way, this is green, which is the color of the heart. And our heart chakra, Anahata, it's our spiritual center. It's where all of these energy meridians move out. But it's also the energetic balancer between earth and sky, or earth and spirit. So it is the place where those energies meet as well. And if you got my newsletter today, or I'll post it later on social media, I mentioned that the mantra for this full moon in Virgo is I meet my spiritual and earthly needs. I meet both of them, right? I need to show up and have good hygiene and take deeper breaths to nourish my organs and my systems and nourish my nervous system. And I need to make sure I'm getting enough sleep. And I need to also make sure I'm getting enough meditation. And I need to make sure I'm having spiritual hygiene and I'm doing my energetic showers. And I'm, maybe cleansing myself with a little crystal quartz or selenite. Maybe I'm smudging myself. Maybe I'm also getting back into a regular routine of different habits with my nutrition. I'm drinking my tea at night before I go to bed, or my sleepy girl mocktail, or maybe I'm also doing a little bit of decompressing in the night with an Epsom salt bath and surrounding myself with some crystals and some essential oils in that bath to uplift my frequency. I mean, there is a way to balance both this earthly and the spiritual right now. And so, maybe you use some of these crystals to do that. But also, the reason that we want to get into this balance between the two is because we do want to get practical about our magic. And that's one of the phrases I use a lot, practical magic. And if you're part of 13 Moons membership, you know that every full moon, every new moon, every season, I include both, ritualistic, traditional magic, and also practical modern day magic, if you want to call it that. How can we show up in a practical modern way? How can we show up in a magical way? And we're in this Pisces season that's all about the magical, the mystical, the woo, ruled by Neptune, where the veil is very thin, the illusion is showing up, we're in the dream space, we're in the dream world, but we can't live our head in the clouds all the time, right? And this is something we're talking about right now, as in my position in this international mystical school, that as mystical and magical and wonderful as this other side is that we can dive into, that's becoming very popular and becoming more mainstream, thankfully, we also can't always, float around and be out of touch with reality. Your crown chakra, you can't have everything up in the spiritual and not in the earthly, because then you're unrelatable. Have you ever met somebody that was so woo-woo that they were unrelatable? You were like, ugh, I don't even know if I can get real and talk to them. I don't know if I can even be a certain side of myself with them. I never want to be that way. I always want to show up very, practical and modern and relatable and authentic, but I also want to have that magical, that mystical side, that cosmic side, because we're all that. We're star-seeded beings living in this earthly human body. So we have to have the balance between all of it. So give yourself permission to meet yourself between the two, because you can't live your head in the clouds all the time. Virgo is coming in right now with this full moon halfway through this Piscean lunar cycle to say, hey, let's ground back in and let's take care of ourselves so that we can show up to our dreams. Let's maybe make a plan for our day-to-day, or get some plans on the calendar for our dreams so that we're not just thinking about them, we're actually making steps towards making them come true. Let's start to maybe build our network, or start to find out what kind of spiritual and manifestation practices we should be doing. Everything needs a little bit of ritual and day-to-day regularity, even if it's in the mystical. Okay, let's segue on to our next little bit of earth energy, the smudging we're going to do. I mentioned it might be good to smudge. It's always good to smudge underneath the full moon. Full moons are a time of release. They're a time when parasites and lower frequency energies are actually more active, because everything is pulled out and up to the moon. So we want to make sure and purify things as they're available. By the way, I'm busting out the torch tonight, big torch, because we're in the last full moon of winter, and we have a micromoon, so we've got to compensate with a little bit of candlelight and maybe some torch fire, and we are definitely going to smudge tonight for this last full moon of the year, time of release. And you can see as we start to combine this white sage, again, white, very pure. Sage is always helping to purify our air. You can see my spaces are pretty pure. They never really want to smoke out here. But when we combine this with the second element, fire, we get this third element, air, wind, smoke, whatever you want to call it. Can we see the three combined right there? And you can see that there's very little smoke given off. And I'm going to waft it. I'm going to wave it. You saw that I torched that. What out of that. So I'll just shake the heck out of it. Force it to bring the smoke out, whatever we need. But you can feel confident knowing that I'm pretty good, and you're pretty good, and the tech's pretty good, and this space is pretty good, because shit, I'm good. I'm good, and everything else is good, because I've been in my rituals, because I'm a Venus in Virgo, and I've been feeling it. So regardless, we will go in a clockwise direction around me, around you, around our tech, maybe around this whole little space. Going in that clockwise direction to cleanse the space 3 times, why not? Good number. And then we'll just let it keep burning out. It's not even really going to burn much longer. But I'll let that go. Maybe you'll see some smoke go out. And I've got the window, like I said, slightly cracked, so all of that smoke can leave, taking anything with it if it needs to go. And really good time to smudge right now, not only because it's a full moon, but because it's the full moon in Virgo. Virgo energy is all about purity. The word Virgo comes from virgin. Yes, that is abstinence from intercourse, sex, if you want to go there, if you want to talk about sexuality. But it comes into the origin of the word, the origin. Mercury in Aquarius has been messing with me, y'all. I don't know if you've been tongue-tied. Heather, I know you were tongue-tied last night, and I was a little tongue-tied teaching today, and I'm a little tongue-tied right now. I'm saying weird words. My kid's speaking other languages right now. He's like from another planet. So, okay. Let's talk about the word. The origin of Virgo or Virgin is a holy one, somebody who maybe worked in the temples, maybe a priestess. It was somebody who was whole unto themselves. Remember, when we get down to the word holy, let's break that down too. It comes into the sense of being whole or complete. So these were people that were typically whole of themselves, complete of themselves, didn't need to marry, didn't need a partner. And yes, that most of the time meant that they were involved in some sort of spiritual life. And yes, that also sometimes meant that they were abstinent, but not always. Sometimes they could be considered virgins, temple virgins, or water priestess virgins, or whatever you want to call it, and they were still very sexual in the sense of the physical human way. So we're just talking about feeling more whole and complete and not being tempted or swayed by the outer world, not being distracted off our path, not being tempted to get out of our rituals, routines, and practices, staying true to who we are authentically, not feeling this pressure from some sort of external, place to be another way than what we want to be, right? So if I want to show up with my raw hair color and no makeup in my room on the floor and having not showered all day and with a sore throat, it's all good. I'm going to, right? Because that's who I am. And I have Venus in Virgo, so that makes a lot of sense. But we want to feel this essence of purity and completedness and sovereignty as well. Virgo is the cosmic perfectionist. They think that they know how to do everything right. No offense, Lisa, I love you. I don't even know. I don't really get that from you. You've got other energies in your chart. I mean, that's a whole other mission that we're on right now with your chart. But Virgos like to think that they know what's right and like to think that whatever they believe is best. And so you need to feel very whole and sovereign and in control of your life and feeling like you're not giving away your power and you don't have energy getting stolen from you to feel that way. And Virgos feel that way. And I laugh because, my husband, being a Virgo, love him so much. We've been together for 20 years, but he, probably 6 years ago, decided that we not only need to get a whole new couch, he needed his own recliner. Now, we didn't need 2 recliners in the house or a chair for me. I could just hang out on the couch. He needed a recliner. So we got a recliner. And then, of course, as I got pregnant and had a baby, I realized that we probably should have gotten 2 recliners, but it is what it is. But I laugh because despite him having that recliner, he drags the highest seated chair in our house, our bar stools that sit at our kitchen island. He drags one of those over in front of the TV to play his games and hang out and be on his phone and hang out right in front of the mantle, right in front of the fireplace. So nobody else can sit in front of the fireplace. I always be like, can you scoot over? And he gets like right there on his high horse on his little holy throne in front of the fire in his giant big screen TV and does his thing. And it just makes me laugh because it's such Virgo energy to be in that sovereign space, to just sit on their throne and be like, I'm good, all is well, I know everything, all is perfect. Again, respect, love to the Virgos. It's just their energy, and it rules this energy of this moon as well. So it's okay for all of us to act a little selfish right now. It's okay for all of us to snatch back our power if we've been giving it away. It's okay for all of us to kind of not give a fuck and feel like we know what's right for ourselves and nobody else knows what's right. It's nobody else's business. It's our business what we're doing. Actually was just talking about, it seems to be the theme this week, so it probably is the lunar energy pulling. Like everything I've talked about with my spiritual friends this week has shown up in my channelings and my transmissions, which makes perfect sense. But nobody is needing an explanation from you. And if there was anything else aside from this commitment to maybe take 3 sacred breaths, by the way, you're welcome, Madeline. Sorry, I'm reading this other text. Yeah, you're welcome to breathe through the lungs. And Heather said she just got out of the shower, so she's been cleansing the day away. Yeah, I plan to take a big salt bath tonight. But yeah, our power, it's okay to get that back right now because we've been giving it away for too long. And what I've been talking about with a lot of my friends right now, and just like spiritual peeps, is that it's okay for us to get back into that space of wholeness so that we really know where we're going, that we can really be truthful to our path that we're on and our purpose and our dharma. But we can't do that if we're not whole, if we're busy with other people taking away our energy, or we're letting other people make decisions for us. And so, as you take back control, as you make shifts in your life, as you get back into spiritual practice and routine, as you reclaim your sovereignty, you don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't. And if they ask for one, you still don't owe it to them. I'm changing my life because I feel like that's what's best for me. Good enough. If you even feel like giving them that. So yeah, it's been kind of the theme I've been talking about with people today as they make shifts. And a lot of it seems to be in the professional world. So maybe this message is for all of you as well. If there's something in the professional world that you need to make a shift with, and maybe it's entirely different than what you're doing. Like, I have taken on a magical, huge fucking job. Sorry, not sorry. This is how I am, this is the way I talk. I just took on this huge effing job in the past 10 days, and it's going to completely shift my life. And so if you don't know, now you know. Now you know my secret. I've been telling people at the studio in class. But I can't teach in many classes, group classes, yoga classes at my yoga studio here in little Southeast Iowa. I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. Why? Well, number one, because I'm teaching online in these international schools 2 to 4 times a week for 1 to 2 hours at a time. Do the math. I have to cut ties. I have to bring out swords and cut some ties. And if you didn't take in the tarot reading for the Lunar New Year or the New Year, go to my website or go to my Mother Moon Yoga YouTube channel, go to my podcast, go check those out and read them, because they had a lot of swords coming through and a lot of things about relationships and a lot of things about our success and future if we started to, bring in those themes. So I know that I'm going to have to let go of group classes. And I also know that eventually, honestly, probably going to be let going of it completely. And Lisa, with her little intuitive side, said, I don't know when you said this to me, Lisa, I don't remember, but I know that you said this. You said, eventually you're probably just not going to be here, or you're headed in a different direction. And I was like, I know. But I didn't know what it was, and now I do. So I know I'm going to be cutting ties with things. But that's okay, because I'm moving on to something else, and I don't really owe any explanation along the way, because the truth be told, I'm cutting ties because I'm moving towards my joy. I'm moving towards my dreams. I'm moving towards the things I've been working so hard for in this age of Capricorn, and now we're in this age of Aquarius, and the universe is like, here you go. And I'm like, is this real life? Is this real life? Like, I got hired to teach in an international mystic school. That really exists? And also I'm getting paid what I get paid, which is way more than I've been getting paid before. For things I've been doing for free? What? But you know what? In my Conscious Creatress 4-month lunar-based manifestation program, we talk about this. We talk about how if you start doing the things that you want to do, if you have a thing that you're passionate about, I love astrology. I love the chakras. I love reading cards. I love everything about the woo. I love being weird. I love getting weird with other people who like to get weird too. If you just start doing a little bit of that thing you like to do for free for habit, for hobby, for fun, you get more opportunity to do it. So I started doing it for free, for fun, for hobby, and then I started doing it for a job a little bit with my business. It's kind of like a bonus as to what I do to advertise my offerings and who I am and what I do, my energy, how I approach things, how I do things. But I started to do a little bit of that still for free. Even though I started to get more professional with it, make money with it, and I read charts and I do card readings and all that, still doing it for free. Do it for free because you love it, because you're passionate about it. And do it because, not only because you want to make money, let's be real, we're humans, not only because you want to be financially supported and you want to make your dreams come true, because you want to do this for a living, but because you want to uplift humanity, because you want to do good, because you have a higher purpose in what you're doing. And when you have those kinds of intentions and you keep taking the steps and taking the steps and taking the steps, and you're doing it for the greater good and you're doing it for the greater good, and you just keep acting with good karma and you keep hoping and you have this faith, it will come to you. I gotta lock the door. My kid's home. I heard him come home. I thought he was spending the night at grandma's, but it's a full moon. Anything goes. We'll see if he bangs on the door or not. Full warning now. So I'm getting to the point of starting to get into that routine of meeting your needs, both earthly and spiritual, but not really owing anybody an explanation if it's working towards your higher good, working towards your better self. Because the only real person that needs an explanation is you to yourself, right? If that. Okay. I brought in a feather for practical magic to waft the smoke, but we didn't even need it because the smoke's gone. But a feather, I'm talking about practical magic tonight in the spirit of Virgo. So we have very simple crystals, right, for earth energy, maybe some white sage if you want to smudge. But if you can't smudge, a lot of people live in spaces where they can't have smoke, fire, smoke detectors go off or whatnot, or maybe they just don't want to use white sage, or they don't want to smudge, or they got asthma, they just can't have smoke. Wind, air, can be represented with a feather. You tap yourself with that feather. You can work yourself around with the feather. You can cleanse the air with the feather. My kid loves to play with the feather. I like feathers. I find them everywhere. Simply just having a feather around you brings in that air, wind energy as well. And of course the fire. You can pretty much find fire anywhere. But, again, if you don't want to burn something, if you don't want to light a candle, you can create the heat with your human body. Friction, move it all around, and then there's your fire. Okay. Moving on to water. I already mentioned you might want to stay more hydrated or have some tea. Tea is really good right now to nourish the throat chakra. You might just want to have water because we're in a full moon, which can be a little dehydrating. It's also purifying to take in more water, just helps to cleanse your systems. Or you can work with oils. I like to work with essential oils. Patchouli would be my first suggestion. However, I know not all of you like patchouli. I know it's a hippie oil. I know it's like the basic bee hippie oil, but aren't we getting basic bee tonight in Virgo energy, Virgo essence? So we got to talk about patchouli, and Virgos love patchouli. Lisa loves patchouli. I'm going to call you out, Lisa, because you're a Virgo. I'm using you as an example. Love you. But all my earth people love patchouli. And all of those like cedarwood or vetiver or myrrh, or, anything frankincense, any of those grounding oils, because they're earth signs. This is an earth moon. Patchouli can be very grounding to you during this full moon, and it can help to calm your energy. So feel free to use it. Go to oil, again, in the spirit of using the most common oils if you're just a beginner to aromatherapy. Patchouli is one to use if you like to use it for grounding, and it's much more affordable than frankincense or myrrh or vetiver or cedarwood even. Actually, patchouli and cedarwood are probably about the same now, but much cheaper than frankincense. Frankincense is pricier. But frankincense is a great one to use as well because it's a holy oil. And in the spirit of that Virgo energy, you might want to use frankincense. Now also, got to talk about basic vanilla. Madagascar vanilla. Because this is Virgo energy. White, vanilla, pure. And vanilla is another one that's really easy to get your hands on because even if you can't get Madagascar vanilla oil or vanilla essential oil, you can go to the grocery store and you can get vanilla. Now, don't get vanilla extract with the alcohol if you can. Try to get pure vanilla or get vanilla beans. And you can simmer, and even if you get vanilla extract, it's okay. Try to get the purest. But you can simmer that on the stove with a pot of water. You don't have to have an oil diffuser. And you can still bring in that essence of vanilla. Or maybe you make some sugar cookies with vanilla or snickerdoodles or something. But by the way, cinnamon quickens your dreams. If you want to get practical about magic in your dreams, put a little cinnamon in your life to quicken it. But Madagascar vanilla is good for uplifting our mood as well. We're in the end of winter, and it's just kind of a good one to go to. Very easy to access for aromatherapy. I don't have it with me, but cypress is another great oil to use because it's a tree oil that's an evergreen. Evergreen oils in general are attractive to earth signs. Trees are attractive to earth signs. But some of these like Douglas fir, eucalyptus, white fir, pine, all of those are pretty intense. Cypress is a little bit more subtle, but it's an intense one as well. And I just don't have it with me. It's at the studio. But cypress is a good one to open up the respiratory system and just connect you to grounding energy. If you're not looking for more of those earthy dirt scents like the myrrh and the vetiver, patchouli, you might want a tree scent like one of those evergreens, maybe your firs, maybe your even a rosemary can be really nice for Virgo season. So some of those herbs as well, like, so cypress can be good for trees, but you might want to even bring in like a rosemary. I just thought about that. And oregano is really good. This is just like off the cuff now. Things are just coming through. I'm channeling. But oregano is really good for your health. Oregano oil is an amazing oil for your health. Castor oil, now we're getting beyond aromatherapy and just talking about oils, but castor oil is good to use right now. I just had a castor oil pack a few days ago with a massage. You know, we want to put some castor oil on your throat because the throat chakra is a focus right now with this moon, and castor oil can really help with your thyroid balance, with hormones, with the thymus, and can help with anything going on with your respiratory. Also good to put on the womb space, which is your internal moon and womb, connecting back to that virgin energy, you know, your internal, or not even your internal, but your womb space is another great space to put castor oil if you're a woman, especially if you're a bleeding woman. This can help to nourish the reproductive system and balance that as well. So just a couple of those oils that you might want to use. And then finally, I'm not going to put it on, but rose oil. Rose is crazy expensive, so you could always just get rose petals. Again, you could put those in your water and boil them for a little bit of scent. Make sure it's organic roses. You can also get a rose hydrosol or a diluted rose that isn't as expensive. In fact, I have this is the Rose Touch from doTERRA, which is a little bit more affordable. And then I also have like those little 5 ml bottles of rose that are worth like $300. So, you know, whatever you can afford. But rose is the highest frequency oil. It moves you out of your heart. And so if you're needing to really get into that purest space of yourself, you might want to bring more rose into your life. And you can drink rose tea. So you can get yourself some rose tea somewhere and drink that as well. That's another way to bring in the rose and the water without busting your budget. I'm going to get a drink really quick. By the way, Madeline the Taurus says she loves all of those earthy scents, including the vetiver, which makes sense. Tauruses love patchouli. I haven't met a Taurus that doesn't like patchouli. So if you watch this transmission, you're a Taurus, you don't like patchouli, let me know, because I haven't met one. Okay, so we have our earth, we have our wind, we have our fire, we have our water. Our fifth element is the ether. We've already been working with it. It's the digital spaces that we're using to connect to. I love to use the ether for my moon circles because all of these elements that we have brought into this circle are now taking their energy and they're giving it out to you. You have received that energy even though you haven't been here with me in this physical space. Even if you're listening to the replay, that's what's magical about the ether. It moves beyond dimension. So it's as if you're sitting here in front of me in the physical present, in my little home office transmitting space, hanging out. Notice how the candle calmed down. That candle, it's gonna mess with me when I point it out. Calm down. Heather also said patchouli is her favorite, and she is a mix of Scorpio and Libra, but Scorpios also really like patchouli, and I think it's got something to do with that desert essence of the scorpion. I know that they typically are attracted to those earthy scents as well. And also, just connected to the underworld, scorpion energy is. So you might be connected to the earthy sense because of that underworld energy ruled by Pluto. So yes, I have no doubt that you like patchouli, Heather. Oh, and also, let's just get woo. Scorpio is all about the mystical, and patchouli is one of those oils that opens up to the mystical. So yes. Okay, loves, I know that we have been together for like an hour already. Where is time going? That's Pisces season for you. You lose track of time. But the good news is we're not getting super ritualistic tonight beyond what we're talking about right now. We are going to do a tarot reading tonight. I am going to do an invocation with the guides and guardians of the 5 directions. And then we will pretty much be done. We don't have much else to talk about tonight. Now, if you're in my 13 Moons membership, we are meeting tomorrow night to talk about a very different way to vision board. This isn't your typical cut out the pictures and put them on a poster board. Nothing wrong with that. Just a different version. It's not going online and making a digital version with, Pinterest or whatever. It is a whole different version of vision boards, and it involves really exercising the throat chakra. So if you're not part of my 13 Moons membership, I'm going to do a little pitch now and encourage you to join that while you can, because this lunar cycle, this first lunar cycle of the lunar year, this Aquarius lunar cycle, it is only $11 a month, 1-1, to join that membership, and you get your first 30 days free. So no risk. You can go in, you can check it out right now, see what it's all about. And if you want to stick around, $11 a month. I also have a special for 6-month membership, yearly membership at a little bit higher of a discount. And this membership will be available after this lunar cycle, but the pricing is going to go up a little bit, including up to $13 a month for the month to month. And I'm not going to do the 30-day free trial. I'm only going to do a 2-week free trial. So if you want the best of the best opportunity with the 13 Moons membership, get into it before the new moon on March 10th. Okay, let's do our invocation to bring in the guides and guardians of the 5 directions. After that, I will go right away into thanking the cards for being here, and we'll do our tarot reading for this full moon. I want to start by inviting in the guides and guardians of the East with their element of air. We are at the portal of endings and beginnings. We are in a new lunar year, in the first lunar cycle of it, in the first full moon of it. We are beginning to move on to the season of spring in Aries in 2 weeks. We are on the dawn of a new age of Aquarius, or moving into that season of air now. It's really ruling us now more than Capricorn. And so we invite in these fresh breaths of prana and apana to ground us as much as the prana energizes us. And we thank the guides and guardians of the East with their energy of air and the nourishing energy of sacred breath for being in our circle tonight. We ask these guides and guardians to stay here as long as they need throughout this transmission, throughout the rest of this lunar cycle, or leave whenever they feel they need to. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the South. Element of fire. Full moon, but a micromoon. So less fire than normal. More earth energy, however, the fire is still present. And we're feeling that fire just right on the cusp of arriving with Aries season in 2 weeks. More solar energy with spring and vernal equinox. More light than dark. We're beginning to crave that fire now, and we might even have a sense of impatience as fire tends to burn within us with that sense of urgency. Yet we use the fires instead of being impatient to simply purify us, to burn away cords that no longer need to connect, to help charge us up and ignite new dreams within us, and also spark the momentum to keep moving forward towards our dreams and taking the steps in this true fashion of the full moon in Virgo. We thank the guides and guardians of the South with fire for being in our circle tonight. And we ask them to continue to be with us throughout the next 2 weeks, the rest of this lunar cycle, throughout the rest of this season, this year, as long as we need them, and to leave when they are ready. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the West with their element of water. We're in this Pisces season, Pisces sun. We're feeling it. We feel the tug of spring on the way. We feel the emotional waters and creative waters and fertile waters of Pisces energy moving through us now. We let these waters move through us and serve us, helping our energy to continue to flow as we stay present. And we thank the guides and guardians of the West with water for being in our circle tonight. We encourage them to be here as long as they need and leave when they are ready. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the North, element of earth, all of the magical tools and elements that we brought into our circle tonight, the crystals, the oils, the smudgy materials, even the fire that happens only on this planet in a certain way. We connect to our earthly human bodies in Virgo fashion. We get back into alignment. We call on the guidance of our ancestors in the Pitris, ruling Magha Nakshatra. We ask for wisdom as we prepare for what's ahead. And we thank the guides and guardians of the North with their element of earth for being in our circle tonight. We ask that you continue to watch over us and be with us as long as we need and you need, and leave when you are ready. We also invite in the guides and guardians of the ether, the fifth element, the spirit realm, the Akash, what's beyond this earthly planet, and the dimensions that we sense here in our earthly human body. We invite in our protectors, our angels and archangels, the deities and cosmic beings, cosmic races, source consciousness, and anything else that needs to be here present in our circle tonight. Guide us, direct us, and give us the messages that we need to receive. We thank you for being here, and we ask that you continue to be with us as long as we need, and then leave when you are ready. Finally, we invite in the guides and guardians and anything else as we take in the messages of the tarot tonight. Sometimes knowing that messages move through in different ways and different forms of divination. We also know that the cards do not lie. We trust in the reading that comes through tonight, and we let it soak in a way that we need to truly receive it. So real quick, before I do this reading, and it's just a 3-card reading, by the way, not just, it's a 3-card reading, not like it's a just. But I do want to talk really quickly about Vedic astrology. I pretty much already touched base on it, but in the eastern side of the world, in Vedic astrology, this moon is in Magha Nakshatra. It's known as the magnificent star. Magha means magnificent. And it's in the heart of the Leo lion. And the reason it's not in Virgo is because there's a different perspective on astrology with Vedic versus Western or tropical. When we're in tropical Western, we're focusing on the relationship of the earth and the sun. But in Vedic, we're looking at the constellations and the relationship of the earth to the constellations. And so for the perspective of the East, the moon is in the heart of the Leo constellation. And this is known as the lunar mansion of Magha. And this is represented by a royal throne. And so even though we're on this other side of the world, we're still bringing in this very regal, sovereign, holy, heart-ruled energy. And so it's important to move out of your heart essence, your heart frequency, as much as possible right now. Throughout the rest of this lunar cycle, with this being the first full moon of the lunar year, I believe the next 13 moons we just threw out this next year, really set that standard to move out of our heart. And how do we do that? First and foremost, we breathe through it. Take those 3 sacred breaths and make them sacred before everything that you do. So before we do this tarot reading, our magical practice tonight, which is a very practical magic practice, is taking another 3 deep breaths so that you can really be in tune and present to receive whatever these cards have to say. Deep breath in. Open mouth. Exhale. Again. One more breath. As the plane flies overhead. I don't know if you hear it or not. So I pulled 3 cards, past, present, and future cards, because we are in this last full moon of the zodiac season. The first card I got was a reverse card. It's a protective message. I have no doubt we have protection around us right now with these peach trees, but the Queen of Pentacles. And you can see on the card that it's this elephant, mama elephant with a crown with a heart on top and a baby elephant. And the Queen of Pentacles, pentacle eye patch over her there. Anytime we have the Queen, it's about being more royal and sovereign and really taking control of our life and being in our power, especially in both masculine and feminine side. This has also been a theme I've been talking about a lot this week, really ruling our masculine and feminine side. So if you're feminine, really allowing your masculine to be here as much as you're feminine, because I think we're kind of like in this war between the two and it's hard to pick. And same thing if you're male, allowing your feminine side to come through as much as your masculine. By the way, right now, Mars and Venus are very close together. They're in what we call a Graha Yuddha, which is a planetary war because the gravitational pull, the forces are pulling at one another. So Venus is pulling on Mars, Mars is pulling on Venus, and we're feeling that tug of war within us. And so it's time to get back to taking back our power and feeling the wholeness within us, right? Virgo full moon, Virgin, right? Virgo energy, wholeness, completedness of masculine and feminine side together, really letting the Kundalini rise and merge at all of your chakras. But when we pull the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this also means that we have been giving more than we're receiving. It's time to take back our power. It's time to take back our energy. It's time to take back our time. Maybe we've just been giving out a lot of time, and it's time to give back a little bit of it to ourselves, or just find the worthiness in it. And I find that this is really interesting just for myself because I've been giving away a lot for free, And it is a struggle, not going to lie. I run a business. I have to pay bills. So I have to figure out how much do I give away for free and how much do I not. And if you remember, I said in the Lunar New Year transmission, I thought about stopping the moon circles and going to my membership only and making them a paid for thing only. However, no, that doesn't uplift humanity. That doesn't serve my dharma. That's not living out of my heart, my higher purpose. That's living out of my money-fueled ego, thinking I have lack. I have enough, I have enough, I have enough. I will do this for free. I will nurture people for free. I will give them so much stuff on astrology, they want to puke about it if they're around me for free. Because not only does it nurture you, it helps you nurture yourself. So the Queen of Pentacles just says, hey, just come back to yourself, take back your power, take back your energy, take care of yourself, get back into your practices. Get back into your modern day practices, your everyday ritual, routine, habits, hygiene. And also get back into your spiritual practices, your spiritual hygiene, your spiritual routine. Get back into the magic and interweave your magic into the everyday so you feel more complete and your cup is full, and then you can pour it out again. But also pouring it out from a full cup to also help other people get their cups full so that they can pour them over themselves, so that you don't have to keep filling up your cup, pouring into their cup, filling up your cup, pouring into their cup, right? That's not how this works. I was watching this documentary with my kid the other day, and it was about a mama bear and two baby bears. And the mama bear, it was the first time she'd had twins. She'd had babies before, but she'd never had two. And every time she would like eat and get full, her babies would like latch on and feed, and she'd be exhausted and drained and have to go eat again. And she just couldn't keep up. And that's kind of what this reminds me of, this card. And that might be how you've been feeling. Maybe it was just for the past month or for the past few months or the past year or the past season. But if you've been feeling that, it's time to get back to yourself and just kind of set some boundaries, cut some ties. You don't owe anybody an explanation, but get back to yourself for a while, get full, and then maybe you can start pouring again, but don't let it go back to that same energetic relationship that it was before. Don't let it get out of control. Stay in control and in charge of it. I'm a total believer in empowering people to help themselves. Self-healing. I say it all the time. Am I a healer? Yeah, because I've healed myself. Do I call myself a healer because I think I can heal others? No, absolutely effing not. Okay? And anybody that does, I'm sorry, they are ego-driven. It's just how I feel. I'm not a healer in the sense of healing others. I'm a healer because I've healed myself, and I show you how to heal yourself, and I awaken the healer within you, because we all have it. We're all related. We all have that star-coded DNA, the same genome. We all have the magic inside, but some of us learn how to do it before others. And then we pass the torch on. We pass the torch on, and we light that fire within somebody else, and they become the healer. And then they move on, and they teach somebody to become the healer. Amen, Heather. Yeah? Because I know she's in this same boat. This International Mystic School. I wish I could talk more, and I'm going to be able to talk more by summer solstice. By the way, if you want to come to an in-person thing, I'm going to start talking about that soon in the Ozarks. Save the dates for summer solstice. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, June 20th through the 23rd. Save the dates. If you want to come to Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, and party with me, and have a fairy festival and learn about my new job and the new company that I'm working for, come to it. But one of the things that I was talking about with this International Mystic School that I'm coming into is that everything on the mystic side is certifiable. You get a certificate. That's great. I want you to be a certified tarot reader. I want you to be a certified astrologer. Like, I want you to learn those things. But what if we also just like put out some educational courses to empower people to learn? Because getting a certificate is intimidating, and not everybody wants to get a certificate. Not everybody wants to pay for a certificate, and I get it. This is a big company and certificates make them money. However, all of my courses don't have any certificates with them. And you learn a lot about the moon, and in 13 moons you learn a lot about astrology, and I've got a chakra course I'm coming up on developing soon, and all of these things that I teach, they don't have certifiable attachments to them, and I think that's okay. It's time to start empowering people to empower themselves and simply learn and take that knowledge from within and go from there, and maybe they build upon that and they become more educated to do it on a professional level or get a certificate or whatever. But give yourself permission to simply learn more and not be so afraid to dive deep, no matter what level it's at. Learn to heal yourself one step at a time. Okay, let's talk about these other two cards. The Hanged Man is what I pulled for the present, and it is upright. And we got a cocoon or a larva getting ready to turn into the cocoon and turn into the butterfly and transform. And I feel like this is the perfect card for where we're at right now, at this gentle pause before we go into spring. So everything is still in hibernation mode, right? We are still in hibernation mode. This is Pisces season, the sign of dreams and sleep and rest and waiting. So you can make your plans. You can start working your magic. You can take the steps it takes to transform, but don't expect to get there overnight. Don't expect the results to be there in 2 weeks. Be patient and wait for the results, and continue to trust in the magic and do the steps and live out of your heart and live in your highest purpose and do your dharma work and do your karma work, and eventually the results are going to come through. This is a card that has the number 12 on it. This means that this could take a whole year to happen, sisters and brothers, whatever you're working on. But this year is a process of making it happen. I have been working on this dream to get this job that I have landed for 12 years. For 4 years, really freaking hard. Or 5 years. No, 4. 4.5. For a really long time though, overall. And it's finally here, and I've just been patient and waiting and working and patient and waiting and working and patient and waiting and working. Keep doing it. Keep waiting, keep working. By the way, 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. Number of transformation, and it might be 3 seasons. It might be 3 months. It might be the 3rd month. It could be in March. It could be coming soon with spring. We don't know. Lots of different messages with those cards, but pay attention to that 12 or that 3 and how that might be coming to you as well. Also, future card. Another reverse card, another protection message, the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so we get back to ourselves. We find more wholeness so that we can really start working towards our dreams and filling the cup and not feeling exhausted along the way. And then we're patient and we're working and we're waiting. And then maybe eventually it comes true. Now, if the 9 of Pentacles is upright, that typically means that we are seeing something through, that we have brought something forward, that we have birthed something through that we've been trying to manifest. And once it's here, it's maybe not all the sunshine and rainbows that we thought it was going to be. Like the grass isn't greener on the other side once we buy that pasture. Once we own both sides of the road that seem to be better, but the other side seems a little better, we get over there and we realize it's got problems too. Okay? So I think what this really means when it's in the protection mode is that we really need to pay attention to what we are working towards and also get back to our worth along the way. All of these cards are really about being worthy of ourselves, being worthy to wait, being worthy to do the work, being worthy to get back to ourselves and back to our practices and our spirituality and our wholeness and our holy selves, but also being worthy enough to work on our actual dreams and intentions with the higher purpose. Like, I just want to fucking help people heal themselves and heal their trauma and feel peaceful and learn how to make their freaking dreams come true, because I don't know if you know or not, but I've been through it all. Like, I grew up in complete trauma and poverty. I'm talking dumpster diving at the Goodwill with my abusive mother for whatever we could find to fill our house with to feel like a home. I'm talking my mother sending me into the grocery store at 5 and 6 years old to buy the milk and the eggs and the bread with the food stamps, with the food stamp booklets, if you remembered, because I'm an 80s baby, and her sending me in alone to do it because she's too fucked up and high on drugs to do it. I've lost my father to suicide. It put me on this whole path to be where I am right now. I lost a job after moving into another country for that job after being with that job for 10 years, and then I got fired in a broom closet on Halloween. Talk about premonition. But I've been through it. I've really thought about why I want what I want now, why I want the dreams that I want now. It's not like I want a bunch of money in my life because I want a bunch of money and I want to buy a yacht and I want to be egocentric and have this luxurious, lavish, ridiculous, stupid life and buy Apple Vision goggles. Like, I don't want that. I want to have money so that my kid never knows what it's like to struggle or never hears those words, "We can't afford that," and never has that lack money mindset ingrained into him like I did and I had to fight through and bust out of. And it took me 30 to 35 to 40 years to do so. I want to live my dreams and not go to a 9 to 5, or I want to have a dream job, whether it's my own job where I run my business or whatever, because I want to have my own schedule, because I want to spend time with my family, because I want to spend time with my husband and have a fruitful, loving marriage where we have time for each other. I want to have time freedom and money freedom, and I want to enjoy what I do and do what I love and not feel like I hate work because I have to spend time complaining about it. I want to be able to be with my kid. Again, my mother was never home. My dad wasn't present because he was working too and they were divorced. Like, I was a latchkey kid that spent a lot of time at home and raising my little sister. There's reasons why I do what I do. But ultimately, I also do all these things that I do because I want you to be able to create whatever you want and build your dreams and have the life that you want and have a lot of fucking money, because that's how this world operates. But also have wealth and abundance and peace and safety and a network and sisterhood and brotherhood and tribe and you name it. All of the good things. All of the good things. I do what I do so everybody else can have that. So I get to that because this 9 of Pentacles, it's all about thinking about, why are you here doing what you do? Yes, we're probably doing it to make money because we have to live on this planet and operate in this society and pay bills to live. I get that. But why else do you do what you do? Me and Maddie were talking about that when she was cut my hair. You know, Madeline doesn't just cut hair to cut hair. She has a higher purpose than that. And she doesn't just cut hair. She's in the beauty industry, but she's not in it in a typical way. She's in it for heartfelt reasons, higher purpose, spiritual reasons, dharmic reasons. So whatever you're working for, whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever you're doing, because 9 of Pentacles is all about, you know, working to bring something forward and maybe even having that result. In the reverse mode, you're still working for it. Do a little check-in under this moon and let the light of the moon illuminate it all. And illuminate the truth and get real with yourself. You know, it's okay if you've maybe been doing things for the wrong reasons. Let's let that go now with the moon and let's shift. And maybe you can still do the same thing, but can you do it for the right reasons instead? We can have the both and. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, loves. This is what I have for you tonight. We did a very unique invocation to bring in the guides and guardians and invite them to stay here as long as they need. Maybe it's the rest of this lunar cycle. Maybe it's leaving tonight as we close. But I'm not going to tell them to leave because the spirits of the Petries are here, and I feel like we need that. We need it right now in this last lunar cycle of the zodiac wheel. We also did breath work tonight. Sacred breaths, 3 sacred breaths, very simple, very easy. Let that be your spiritual practice, if not anything else under this moon. Remember to move out of your heart, get back to ritual, get back to practice, get back to routine. Find the balance to meet both your earthly and your spiritual needs. And purify yourself. Get back to the holy, whole self that you are. Merge your masculine and feminine. It's that Jeshua Magdalena consciousness. It goes back even farther than that. Shiva Shakti. It goes back even farther than that. We don't have a label for it. Yin Yang. Solar Lunar. Let it be balanced and let yourself feel whole underneath this Virgo moon. Okay, loves, we will meet again in a few places. First off, if you want to meet again for a moon circle, our virtual new moon circle celebrating the Pisces, yes, the Pisces new moon. Things are backwards and it's messing with me, right? Like the new moon and the full moon are off. If you work with the moons, you know what I mean. It should be one step ahead and it's one step behind. We should be moving into the next new moon, it seems like, in Aries, but we're not. We're moving into the new moon in Pisces on March 10th. And so Sunday, March 10th at 6 p.m. Central Time, we will have our virtual new moon circle for Pisces energy. We also will be meeting in the 13 Moons membership tomorrow. And if you're in the membership, you've got the link, you've got the time. We'll be meeting to talk about a different way to vision board. So if you want to meet and talk about that, get that 13 Moons membership if you don't have it. 30-day free trial, $11 a month. And then also you may want to meet me in the free 3-part Astro Immersion because the replay is still available through tomorrow night if you sign up. That access is there. Now, that's public access to sign up and get it. But if you sign up tomorrow night to access that replay, then you will get the replay until the new moon in Pisces on March 10th. So you'll have a little bit longer to view it. I just don't want to keep nagging people in their inboxes if they don't care. So, when you email out like 500-ish plus people and you email them out about a lot of things, you try to be, mindful of the inbox clutter. So in the spirit of Virgo full moon, I don't want to clutter the inbox too much. But yes, if you want to check any of those things out, you can. If you go to my website, vinalene.com, you will see the free 3-part Astro Immersion. You click on it, you sign up, you get access to the replays right away, and you have the opportunity to sign up for that through tomorrow at midnight. The sign up for that replay will go away tomorrow at midnight, but if you sign up, you will have access to the replays for 2 more weeks. You also get a lot of bonuses. I'm just going to say it. If you sign up for the free Astro Immersion, you get a couple of discounts, and you're also going to be getting access to sign up for my Conscious Creatress program that I mentioned earlier. So I do not have enrollment open for that right now, except for anybody enrolled in my free Astro Immersion. And not only can you get exclusive VIP enrollment into Conscious Creatress, you get a discount on both regular or premium enrollment. To premium, you get to work one-on-one with me, but either way, you get a discount, and you're able to enroll for the next 2 weeks if you sign up for my immersion. So all of that's there. If you want to go check it out, you can. We are coming up on, my goodness, we talked a little bit longer than normal. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here a little bit longer than normal. It is Saturday night. I really, I'm unapologetic, to be honest, because we should be spending more time connecting in these ways and connecting with each other. And it's been so cool to be able to teach in the school online and connect with so many people all at once around the world that want to learn all of these magical things to self-heal. So I thank you for being here, spending your Saturday night with me, and spending this extra time with me, extra long than normal. And I hope to see you soon, wherever I see you in the ether. Until we meet again, may we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all feel safe and at peace. May we all feel loved, be loved, and love one another. And so it is, and so it already is, and so it mote be. Blessed be. Namaste, loves.